Hello, traders, and welcome to an update. I'm going to be doing an update on the S&P, oil, and silver. So I'm going to give a shout out to all the bratty people in my life. Here is the video for you. All right, let's start with the S&P. I'm going to look at the futures contract for the S&P, the ES, instead of the SPX, just because this is a chart that I look at on a daily basis, so I'm more familiar with it. So last week I was looking at that diagonal and it worked out perfectly, and it gave a strong bounce up to 68.50, and today it got rejected really hard. So it's becoming a little bit clearer now, I think, what this whole mess has been. I'm going to go out to the daily chart on this chart, and I still think that all of this is the correction. So I think the high over here in October 30th was the high, and then we started the correction. And so I think we're going to have this look. And I think, just based on what I'm seeing, I think they're going to come and break 65.25. And this whole thing is going to turn out to be an expanding flat. So if they break 65.25, it'll be expanding. They could fall just short to make a running flat. But based on what I'm seeing, there's still another down wave to complete the third wave, and go up for 4 and then still down for 5. So they'll almost undoubtedly break that. And that'll make more sense because the 236 range is over here. And so I think they'll probably actually like just come somewhere right in about there. So what is this? 64.53. I bet they get really close to that. Now the contract does roll next week, the futures contract, so these numbers are going to change. But the pattern will still look the same. So the numbers next week will be changing. I don't know what the next month or the next quarter's numbers are at, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There's more down. So if I zoom in to the 4 hour, I think this diagonal here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's just the A wave of the third wave. Because I think this 3 wave move, I think that's one. And then this was a pretty quick 3 wave for 2. And then we started this diagonal. And so this was getting really confusing. But now I think that's 1, 2. And so now we're in the third wave. And this 5 waves, that's the A wave. Came up for the B wave right in the perfect zone to get rejected. So B. And now we're coming down, going to break 65.84.50, and that'll be the C wave, and that'll complete the third wave. So then we'll have 1, we'll have 2, this will be 3, and then we're going to go up in 3 waves for 4, and then we'll come all the way down again in 3 waves and break 60. I think we'll break 65.25 because this wave is going to break 65.84, not unless they like just barely break it and then start to go up, and then maybe like this 5th wave will just come and just barely break that 3rd wave. So just keep an eye on this way. Like I'd assume that this will probably get like real close to this wave and then give a correction, and then this one will come and take it out, because I'm sure there's some stop losses under there. So yeah, it's still going to be choppy for the foreseeable future, at least another week, if not 2, because first we got to come down and then we got to correct, and it will be actually a pretty substantial correction. If that's 2, let me get right on 2. Let me fix that. 2 is right there. So let's say they just barely break this to complete the 3rd wave. So maybe like 65.70 or something like that. Yeah, this should be coming probably like in the 382 to 0.5 retracement, probably more like the 0.5, because then we're going to have this look. And then this should be, yeah, that this third wave should come down actually like 65.50. I bet they might even come and break 65.25 right away, but then they'll just stay within this channel. So then you'll have one, you'll have two, three will be somewhere here, four will be somewhere there, and then five will be somewhere underneath. I bet 65.25, and that'll be the 5 wave move, and that'll be the C wave. Well, what I'm thinking is the C wave. If it's a leading diagonal, then the ES is, or the S&P is in trouble, because then that means that we got a lot of down to come. If this is all leading, if they come down in 5 ways, and then this will just make a correction and then still come down and probably be a big whoosh down. So then you start getting into the low 6,000s. So we'll see. But first we got to confirm that they are making a diagonal over here, a 5 wave diagonal. I mean, I guess it's always possible that they're just going to, like a W, an X, and then a Y, and then take off. And so this whole thing will be a big WXY correction. But given the uncertainty in the world, I can definitely see them coming down in 5 waves. So I see just a lot more down. But if you're going to short, I would not short for this little bit. I'd let this correct and give a nice 3 wave correction up into, I don't know, 6750 range, maybe 6800. Short from up here instead of from down here, because that'll be a pretty big move going down. So that's what I see. Now, the reason I think there could be a lot more down is if we take a look at oil. Made the low December 15th, and then of course we shoot up to, on this chart, 119. And then they had a very quick correction down to 76, very quick. Either that's all the correction, and so like we've got a 1, and then this was 2, and now we're in the process of going up for the 3rd wave, making a big impulse, which, boy, if they do that, oil's going way higher, and then the market just, I don't know how it can deal with oil prices being like above 119, like into the 120s and 30s and probably 150s. I think the market would really struggle to deal with that. So if we drill down into this, go down to a 1-hour chart, it looks though like we definitely have 1, 2, and then they made this diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which in the new version of Elliott wave, you can't have a diagonal on the 3rd wave, which I'm actually starting to see a little bit more of, and so I'm starting to agree with that. So we could be, if this is the diagonal for the 3rd wave, then this is 1, 2, 3. There was a 3-wave correction. That'd be for 4, and then we broke the high today for 5, which means you'll be getting a correction. So as oil falls, I think that's when the S&P then makes that 4th wave up move. So oil will fall, S&P will go up. But then that means if that's 1 or A, it could be, this could all just be a correction. That could be A, they'll make a B wave down, and then they're going to go up 5 waves. And that'll either be 1, 2, and this will be 3. And like I said, then I think the market's in trouble, because then you're going to make a 4 and a 5, 4, and then go back up for 5. And then this whole thing will correct, but then it's still going way up. So we'll have to see. But this could just be making like a zigzag. So this will be A, come down for B, and then go up for C, and then come down under 76, and then we'll have to see what this is all going to turn out to be. So just looking at oil, I think you're going to get a correction and then more up, and that would coincide with what I see on the S&P, that you're going to get a correction up, but then there's going to be one more wave down in the S&P, and then the fun begins on determining what's going to happen next. So, got to definitely watch oil nowadays, because it has a huge impact on the market. So right now, they both seem to be in lockstep. I think oil corrects down, S&P will correct up, and then they'll reverse. And we'll take a quick look now at oil. I'm sorry, silver. And I'm going to go out to the 4 hour. So last week I was saying definitely looking like we got a possible diagonal, and we had one, we had two, and then 3 waves up for 3. And then this was a really quick 3 waves. And I was wondering if that was 4, and it was looking good on Monday. We shot up, but unfortunately we just made a 3 wave correction, and then it started correcting, and I was like, okay, this could be making another diagonal, and we're going to go and break that 94, but does not look like that's in play now. I can't find a bullish pattern given the huge drop today. Yeah, they came and actually broke the 2, so this is not going to go up in a diagonal, and yeah, this is not like part of the 4th wave. It's just it's getting too big compared to how big the 2 was. So this, I mean, I guess there's still a possibility, but 1, 2, 3, and then all of this is 4, and then you go up for 5. Yeah, possible. Just that 4th wave would be so big. And like the 2, the 1 and the 2 are almost the same size as the 4. So it doesn't have a diagonal look to me. So the only other bullish pattern that I could really see is that the low is in, 64 is the low. This is a 3 wave move, and that is 1. And then this is 3, 3, and then they'll come down in 3 waves or 5, it doesn't matter. But it'll be a 3 wave move, probably come under 77, and that'll be 2, and then a reverse hard and give you a 3 wave move up, and that'll be 3, and then same thing, 3 waves for 4, and then go up 3 waves for 5. So it still can be bullish in that regard. They're just making a really big diagonal. It's getting a little strong. So, we'll see. Obviously, the lower, once it breaks 77, like if it starts to get into like 75, and definitely when it gets under like 72, then this is not looking really good. And then I think this was a 3 wave for A, this was a 3 wave for B, and you're coming down for a C or a Y wave. Like could be a diagonal, because you got 3 down and 3 up, so that could be 1 and 2. Maybe this will be 3, and then you get a 4, and then you get a 5, and then the correction will be done, and you'll be at like 60. So yeah, it'll be interesting next week what silver does in this range here. I think they'll break 77 for sure. So in this range right here, what do they do? Because if it just comes in, but then quickly reverses really strong, then that's looking really good. Then I think 1 and then 2 will be down in here somewhere if they can give a strong bounce. So the stronger, once it breaks, if it can really give you a strong push up, then it's looking good that you're going up, break 94 for the 3rd wave. But if this really sags, gets down into like 72 range, definitely if it gets to like 70, I'm thinking we're coming under 64 and probably going down to like 60 or into the 50s. So this once it gets under 77, it's going to be really critical on if there's a bullish reaction, people stepping in and pushing this thing up, or is it just going to keep sagging down? We're going lower. All right, that's what I see on those. Hope it helps. Good luck to you all. Turbulent times definitely are here, so who knows what's going to happen next. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.